Okay, I used that dry shampoo today and it made my hair a little poofy. But it's cute, I like poofy. So, anyway, Isaac and Abimelech. There was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. There the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you, and bless you. For to you and your descendants I give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give your descendants all the lands, and your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. That's right. It's God's world, God's laws. And the men of the place asked about his wife. And he said, "She is my sister." For he was afraid to say, "She is my wife," because he thought, "Lest the men of the place kill me for Rebekah, because she is beautiful to behold." He's doing the same thing Abraham did. So, learn from his daddy. Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through a window and saw, and there was Isaac showing endearment to Rebekah his wife. He's going, people don't pay that much attention to their sister, unless they're gross. Then Abimilech called Isaac and said, "Quite obviously she is your wife. How could you say she is my sister?" Isaac said to him, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us?" Because back then, when you made a sin, you didn't just affect you. Just like in today's world, when you sin, you don't affect just you, you affect your whole family. Because they gotta live with your stupid choices. Okay. "One of the people might soon have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." And Isaac sowed in the land, and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man began to prosper, and continued prospering until he became very prosperous. Now, the reason God wanted him to prosper was what he said to his daddy. "I'm going to bless you. I'll prosper you." Okay? So, for he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great number of servants, so the Philistines envied him. Here comes that envy. You want to be happy the way you have. I have a tiny house. It's like 700 something square feet. Teeny tiny. Okay? But I'm happy. I got a house. I ain't living under no bridge. So, there you go. Now the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and they had filled them with earth. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." See, when you got God on your side, you're mighty. Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. See, these Philistines, they're trouble. They're just causing trouble. He called them by the names which his father had called them. Probably not some good names. Also, Isaac's servant dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Esek, because they quarreled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah. These people remind you of kids, arguing over stupid stuff. Then he removed from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." Then he went from there to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and he pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servant dug a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have certainly seen that the Lord is with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between us, between you and us. Let us make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of the Lord." So we made them a feast, and they ate and they drank. So, he's like, all right, you're trying to make peace, in your neighborhood. Try to make peace. Like, Micah is so awesome. Okay, he was walking our girls to the bus stop, and this guy out, down the street was cussing his wife out on the porch. And this is totally a God thing here. He, started out getting after that guy because he's like, "Hey, my girls don't need to hear this." And then, they had kind of a back and forth thing going on. And after the girls got on the bus, Michael went back over there, and he's like, "Look, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but my kids don't need to hear this." And they ended up having a good conversation, and they even shook hands afterward. Only my hubby can go from, having a match with somebody to shaking his hand 5 minutes later. That's why I married him. He's smart. The Bible says a kind word turns away wrath. So, if you're smart and you know how to talk to people, you can calm a situation down without having to duke it out. So, anyway. Continuing. Then they rose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. It came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. Now, y'all got to realize when you get married, okay, you're marrying families together. So when you're marrying someone that's a source of grief, okay, in other words, excuse my language, but they're a pain in the ass, okay, that's not the kind of person you want to marry. Because then you're bringing that into the family. You want to marry a person of peace, I'm not saying somebody who just goes along with anything, but someone that goes, all right, how can we make a compromise in this? How can we make this work? Somebody that's willing to work with you, not someone that's like, no, it has to be my way or the highway. Because look, there's only one person that's my way or the highway, and that's God. He's the one that created this earth. He's the one that has the last say. Everybody else, you don't get the last say. It's like, do you let your kids run the household? No. You run the household. And if you let your kids run the household, I'm sorry, but you're not really that wise if you're letting your kids run the household. Because they're going to be a source of grief to you. You're going to be going, man, I'm so wore out. I'm so tired, because my kids are driving me crazy. When they know you are the authority, they're going to be good. And they're going to be a blessing to you. Like my two girls, Araya and Annika, they're very good. Now, Annika, she's in her terrible too. So she's at that stage where she wants to try and test me, But she's still really pretty good. Araya, she's already pretty much trained. She knows. She's 7. So, if she tries to get her sass up, Mama gets her. But, they're not a source of grief to me. They're a source of blessing to me. And everywhere I go, they go, your kids are so good. Your kids are so good. Because they are. Because I trained them to be. So, Anyway, talk at y'all later. Have a good day. I pray blessings over all of you and your households, your families, your animals, everything. So, amen.